Have you ever wondered how easy it is to influence someone's decisions without them even realizing it? Imagine this: you walk into a store and suddenly find yourself buying something you didn't even plan to purchase. Was that really your decision? Or was it subtly influenced by your surroundings or even a single word? Today, we're diving into the fascinating and, honestly, unsettling world of psychological manipulation, exploring some tactics that are so covert, you won't even realize they're happening. By the end of this video, you'll not only be more aware of these tricks but also understand how to ethically use or defend against them in your own life. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, make sure you do so now, so you don't miss out on any future videos. Let's start with a story that might make you rethink some of your past decisions. Picture this: a well-dressed man approaches women in a shopping mall, asking for their phone numbers. Naturally, many women are hesitant, but interestingly, a surprising number say yes, especially when he stands near a flower shop. Why? It turns out, the association of flowers with romance subconsciously sways these women to view the man more favorably. The most surprising part? When asked, the women insisted the flowers had nothing to do with their decision. They were sure they made a conscious choice, but in reality, their environment had already influenced them. In another experiment, researchers tested a similar concept using a different prop. This time, a man approaches women on the street, but there's a twist: he's carrying a guitar case. The result? His success rate skyrockets. Why? The guitar case subtly suggests that he's creative and artistic, qualities that many find attractive. Once again, the women believed they made a conscious choice, but in truth, the guitar case did the persuading for them. Now, let's move into the business world, where these principles are not just used but optimized for profit. In a study with an online furniture store, researchers directed some customers to a web page with a background image of soft clouds, while others saw coins. What happened next was telling: the cloud background shoppers prioritized comfort in their purchases, while the coin background shoppers focused on price. The mere background image was enough to completely shift their purchasing decisions, yet when asked, these customers were adamant that the background had no influence on them. The power of suggestion strikes again. But it's not just images that can sway us, words are just as powerful. Consider this scenario: a salesperson struggling to sell a $75,000 product starts mentioning, almost as a joke, that obviously, I can't charge you $1 million for this. Suddenly, his clients stop haggling over the price. Why? Because $75,000 now seems like a bargain compared to the exaggerated $1 million figure. It's a simple psychological trick called anchoring, and it works wonders. The clients felt they were making a rational decision, but they were actually manipulated by the context in which the price was presented. Let's dive deeper into how words can shape behavior. Imagine a situation where a marketer is struggling to get people to try a new energy drink. When he directly asks them to try it, many refuse. But when he first asks if they consider themselves adventurous, and most say yes, suddenly, they're much more likely to try the drink. Why? Because once they've declared themselves adventurous, they feel compelled to act in a way that aligns with that self-image. This tactic is known as commitment and consistency, a powerful tool that can shape our behavior without us even realizing it. I experienced something similar myself. I was in a meeting with a banker, half listening as he described investment options that didn't really catch my interest. But then he said, "The next product I'm going to talk about is the one I would recommend to my own mother." Instantly, he had my full attention. That simple statement created a sense of unity between us. He wasn't just selling to a client, he was offering something he'd choose for his own family. This taps into the unity principle, where shared identities or values make us more likely to say yes. Now, imagine the power of unity in a broader context. Warren Buffett, the legendary investor, once addressed concerns about his company's future by writing to shareholders, "I will tell you what I would say to my family today if they asked me about Berkshire's future." With that one line, he transformed his relationship with shareholders from a purely business one to a familial bond, dramatically increasing trust and confidence in his leadership. This is the power of unity in action. But the impact of these psychological tricks isn't limited to adults. In a fascinating experiment in Belgium, researchers showed a group of 18-month-old toddlers images with different backgrounds. When the background featured two people standing close together, the toddlers were 3 times more likely to help the researcher who accidentally dropped items on the floor, compared to when they saw a person standing alone or two people standing apart. This experiment highlights just how deeply ingrained these cues are in our psychology, even from a very young age. Let's add one more interesting story from the business world to show you how these tactics can work in real life. Imagine a car salesman trying to close a deal. He knows that customers often hesitate because of the financial commitment. Instead of focusing on the price, he begins his pitch by saying, "I know buying a new car is a big decision. But imagine how you would feel driving this car on your favorite trip tomorrow morning." This simple shift from financial commitment to the positive feelings of owning the car helps the customer focus on the joy and comfort the car will bring, increasing the likelihood of making the purchase. This example uses the principle of priming, where we create a certain emotional state or mindset before presenting the main offer. The idea is that if you can create a positive emotional association with the product before the client focuses on the price, you have a much better chance of success. These techniques are incredibly effective, but as we've mentioned, they must be used ethically. So how can you use these insights in your own life ethically? Of course. Here are 7 practical tips. 1. Use the power of unity. If you're asking for a favor or trying to convince someone, highlight a shared identity or value. For instance, if you're a student raising funds, mention that you're also a student. It immediately creates a bond and increases the likelihood of cooperation. 2. Leverage commitment and consistency. Before making a request, get the other person to commit to something small that aligns with your goal. If they say yes to being adventurous, they're more likely to try something new. 3. Anchor their perception. When discussing price or any other measurable factor, mention a larger, unrealistic number first. This will make the actual number seem more reasonable. 4. Prepare the soil before planting the seed. Before delivering your main message, create the right mindset in your audience. If you need someone to be cooperative, remind them of a time they worked well with others. 5. Decorate your environment with intention. Surround yourself with images, words, and objects that reflect your goals. This subtle influence can keep you focused and motivated. 6. Use words to create unity. When asking for feedback, frame it as advice. This simple shift in wording makes people more inclined to help because they feel they're part of the process. 7. Timing is everything. If you're asking for something big, do it when your recent successes or positive actions are fresh in the other person's mind. But remember, these tactics should be used ethically. If you manipulate others for selfish reasons, it will eventually backfire, whether through damaged relationships or eroded trust. Moreover, you're not immune to these tactics yourself. The next time someone asks you for a favor after doing something nice for you, take a moment to consider if you genuinely want to help or if you're just feeling pressured to reciprocate. Ultimately, the goal here is twofold: to protect yourself from unwanted influence and to ethically guide others when necessary. By understanding these psychological principles, you can navigate your personal and professional life with greater awareness and integrity. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Mindset by Frankie. And if you're interested in discovering more fascinating psychological tricks and concepts, check out our summary of the book Thinking, Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. There, you'll learn more about how our thinking works and how we can make better decisions. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious and stay aware.